Hello, everyone. Welcome to Moments of Mindfulness, the podcast. I apologize for the long delay. For those of you who don't know, I am Emme. I am your host, but also I am a business owner, serial entrepreneur, and a student. Oh my goodness, it has been a challenge keeping everything together. However, I had to take a break and reprioritize this podcast because we are in unprecedented times now. And so today, I want to have a conversation with you guys, just share some moments where I can assist you with navigating these troubled waters because that's what it is. It's troubled waters, and these are extraordinary times. Now, let me say this because this is not a political podcast. We all have our ideologies and our political leanings or lack thereof, whatever the case may be. And I am no exception. However, this is not me coming down on a political side, but rather me helping the people to navigate what we're witnessing in real time. So lately, my sessions, my coaching sessions, my readings, and everything have been more focused on finances, um, family, different things like that, because in real time, we are seeing the world change drastically. Thanks to our now president, Donald Trump, and the power of his pen. Okay. There is a lot of things that are changing daily, and it's difficult to keep up with your own life. So changes are happening rapid fire. And when stuff like that is happening, there are always going to be some people who don't understand why and don't understand or know what to do next. I want you guys to think about this. There are some people who work their whole lives in jobs that cause them further debilitation in their body, broke them down, right? Added to the chronic conditions of aging that aging bring with it already because of the strenuous nature of the job. And so they worked all their life to get to retirement and to get their social security and get all of those things. And now they risk losing it. And so for those of us who are not getting social security, it's hard to imagine what that must be like. But one of the things that's going to help us navigate this time is empathy. Empathy is a very powerful thing, and it helps us to see life from other people's perspective. And it helps us also not to be callous with what we do and how we maneuver through life. So there are people in the military who worked very hard to keep themselves aligned to keep jobs like that because typically speaking, all of our lives, military work has been some of the most secure work you can find. Suddenly, they are out of a job. Now, is the government oversized? Of course, we know it is. Um, are some of these changes necessary? Sure. However, the rapid fire rate at which they're happening, and the fact that there is no thought being given to the fallout and creating systems to assist with that fallout, that's problematic. Wherever you are right now in your life, whether you are watching your retirement accounts fold in half, like many of us are, 401k, IRA, all of those things, or rather you are somewhere else where you're looking forward to the changes. You know it's going to hurt. You're okay with that. And you're saying to yourself, we're going to grin and bear it because this is what's needed. I understand both sides, believe you me. But wherever you are, it is important for you to stay balanced. It is important for you to remember that your life consists of more than laws and rules and external forces, that the start of your peace and your power and even your abundance and prosperity is internal. and it is spiritual. And so sometimes when we get into all these situations, we get very, very physical, and sometimes we're pulled completely out of our spiritual awareness and all the work that we've done. I talked to one of my clients, and she talked about the fact that she hasn't meditated since January. She says she's too stressed out. She can't get her mind to calm down. And I understand that because she's been directly impacted by some of the things that are happening in the White House and beyond. And so sometimes in moments like this, it's easy to give up your spiritual practice versus leaning deeper into them. It's easier to start trusting your eyes and ears and finding yourself caught up in the chaos, because chaos is easy. It sucks you in, man. It's magnetic, right? It's like, they did what? And then now, you got other questions. They did what? Oh, that's what they did. Why would they do that? Right? And then you go to find out why. And then it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. And the next thing you know, you're down 6 or 7 different rabbit holes that only serve to disempower you, to make you feel out of sync in your life and with the people around you, that breeds contempt, worry, depression, despair. It's so important that you remember that no matter what laws are signed in or out, no matter what the economy does, Wall Street does, no matter what happens, that your most valuable asset is yourself. And that is true for us all. That your mental wellness is imperative. When we are faced with turmoil from every angle, every direction, sometimes that's when, more than any other time, we have to force ourselves to move according to what we have been taught when times were good about spirituality. Listen, it's a funny thing. My mentor used to tell me this all the time. He would be teaching about various things, and I would be trying to figure out why I need to know that, right? And so I was like, what would I use that for? And so he would tell us, and I was thinking, but I didn't. This ain't what I'm here for. This ain't got nothing to do with what I'm looking to do. And he would always say, you learn when you don't need it, so that when you need it, you don't have to stop and try to learn while needing it. And he would always say that, learn while you don't need it, so when you do need it, you will have it. It reminds me of my grandmother saying, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right? We develop, a lot of times when we get into spirituality, we start to develop, because we enjoy it, right? It's relaxing, it's rejuvenating to the mind and to the body. And maybe we have a couple of friends that's doing it with us. So it's lovely. It's piqued our curiosity, all of these beautiful things. Some of us come into it because we need it. The experience, though, is totally different. If you come in when you need it versus coming in because you saw some, read some, saw, whatever the case may be, you had some kind of experience that made you curious. When you come into spirituality, though, you're developing skills and coping mechanisms that are meant to be used in trying times. Meditation is great all the time. All the time we should meditate. Or, to quote a popular saying from our church days, all the time meditation is good, and meditation is good all the time, right? Well, they said God, but you get the point. And so meditation is always good, but it is made for creating calm in chaos, being able to rest in the eye of any storm that may come in life. It helps to keep you centered and balanced. If you have fallen away from your meditations because you can't seem to disengage from the news, and everywhere you go, everybody's trying to have conversations about it. You see politics and policies literally affecting your family in real time, it's okay. It's okay. It is okay to stop and say, I don't need to know everything about it right this moment. I need to make sure that I am good. I call that the ultimate state of the union. So, the same way a president stands up and gives a State of the Union address, sometimes we need a State of the Union address with ourselves. Like, what is true for me right now? How does this make me feel? What are my options? Because here's the thing, and I'm going to say this, guys. When we're living our lives, we have to stay utilitarian about that, about our energy, okay? So if I'm not going to express any energy or do anything about something, and I am not going to engage in any way with it in real time, then it doesn't make sense for me to fill myself up with it, so that I cannot or don't have enough energy to properly engage with the things that I've chosen or committed myself to. So in other words, I'm not going to let politics distract me and voting and all of that. If I cannot vote, I don't intend to campaign. I intend to do nothing. Then I'm not going to watch all of that, and I'm not going to keep up with all of that because I'm not going to engage with it anyway. Like, we have to be in a position where we are honest with ourselves about why we consume various knowledge and information. And just to know if it brings chaos, confusion, disempowerment is not enough. And then on that other hand, sometimes the challenge is, what can I do about it? And then to do that which you can do so that you bring that sense of power back. You're reclaiming your power. This is what I can do about it. And this is what I'm going to do about it. And once that's done, if there is nothing else, I will move beyond it. And if there's something else, I'll make a decision at that time, whether I will engage in the next activity or not. But never, ever let anything disempower you or make you believe you have no options or no choices. You do have options. You do have choices. You have the ability to wield your energy in such a way that, whereas politics may have brought division within your family structure, that your love brings unity right back. That policies changing abruptly may have cost you or your spouse or some people that you love their jobs, that you are a creator and a manifester. It's never a convenient time to be without a job, right? It's never a convenient time to have to be out looking for a job. The best time to be looking for a job is when you already got one, right? Um, but But when you get rid of the need for it to be convenient, you understand that this is my next move, right? This is just what it is, and this is what I'm going to do. When I was a kid, the older people used to always use a saying. I don't hear it as much anymore. They would say, there's no use in crying over spilled milk. Part of the reason for that is because whether you cry or not, the milk has spilled. You can't put it back in the glass. You can't drink that which is gone, which has hit the floor. And at the end of the day, you still must clean it up and make a decision about what you will drink, if anything. So yes, you can cry. There, you can cry. You can cry because your feelings are hurt. You can cry because you're disappointed. You can cry because we do have emotional responses sometimes to things. Some things are overwhelming, some things are they just throw us off. But what you also have to realize is that crying is not utilitarian in that situation. In other words, there's no use for it other than to purge however you're feeling. And whenever you get through with that, you still got to do what you was going to have to do anyway. Your tears will not alleviate the reality. And so instead of, and when I say crying in this sense, when we're talking about where we are in life right now, I want you to understand that I mean complaining as well. Don't lose yourself to powerless activity. Remind yourself who you are and keep your frequency high so that you have the power to keep being a positive source of inspiration and to make a positive impact with others. There will never be a time in no situation in which your spirituality or your spiritual development and all of the mechanisms you've developed and modalities that you've developed since you've been a spiritual person on this journey, there will never be a time when that doesn't work. Meditation just works, and there's no law that could ever be signed that would change the fact that it works. Could a law be signed that you can't do it? Sure, anything can happen. But even if a law was passed that you couldn't do it, you know the power of it. And so for me, I just keep doing it anyway, right? I'm not giving up my power for anything. May you guys feel that. I'm not giving up my power for anything. I'm not going to keep doom scrolling and engaging with a bunch of stuff that is somewhat irrelevant for me if I'm not going to truly engage. If I'm not going to be a part of some grassroots efforts, if I'm not going to be politically involved, if I'm not going to shift how I post to educate and to inspire and to motivate, if I'm not going to engage, then I'm just not going to engage, period. I'm not going to contaminate myself. I want you guys to say that with me. I am not going to pollute myself. Say that. With a bunch of negativity and TMI, right? Too much information that I have no use for. Stay abreast of things. Send good energy to people, sure. But don't get a master's degree in a field that can't pay you, that won't pay you. Now, let me say these things to you guys. Sometimes when life is busy, one of my clients now has 2 jobs. That's something she had to do. It got really unbearable for her for a little bit financially. And so one of the things that we developed is a way for her to meditate and to stay consistent. And so I want to share the same thing I share with her with you guys to give you guys some actionable information in this podcast. So first of all, instead of trying to go, maybe you used to do 30 minutes or an hour every morning or every night. Now you could break that up in the morning when you get up, take 5 minutes to seal your aura, to center yourself, to reclaim your energy and your power, to get refocused on the day, 5 to 10 minutes, right? At your lunch break or lunch period, take 5 or 10 more minutes to settle and to center and to commune with your oversoul, with your spirit team, including your ancestors. And then at night, Take as long as you have available, at least 10 minutes, to recenter, to recall your energy from any place where it was scattered that day, um, to fortify your aura and fortify yourself and your family. And then, do your meditations. By breaking it up, it's easier to stay consistent because you give yourself, I mean, it's easy to carve out 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It's easier, I should say, to carve out 5 or 10 minutes um, 3 times a day sometimes than it is to carve out thirty minutes to an hour. So consider that. And then the other thing before we go, always partner with balanced people. Partner with people who meditate, who do nature, who are successful in business, successful in family. Partner with people who are not fly by night. We all need stabilizing forces in our lives, all of us. And so having accountability partners is a way to get through anything. And guys, pardon my voice. It comes and it goes. It's weird. It is so weird. It comes and it goes. But anyway, we all need people who will hold us accountable to being the kind of people who we say we want to be. So for me, a good example, I want to be approachable. Um, I never want to become callous while dealing with people. And there's a lot of there's a lot of temptation to don't get me wrong, because people can be something else. People be people in, man. I'm talking about people be people in it. And sometimes, I mean, it's a lot I can say about that, but I won't, because that's not this particular topic. But so I partner with people who understand my vision for myself and who remind me when they see any semblance of me getting away from that, who's not afraid to remind me, this is not the kind of person you said you wanted to be. And it's people that I trust, because I'm gonna tell you something, it don't do you no good to partner with somebody you don't trust, because who listens to people they don't trust, especially in the heat of a moment? So get accountability partners. And sometimes that includes making new friends. And you know what? That's a good thing. Making new friends is the equivalent of having new experiences, and it actually gives you a more robust spiritual experience. Your spiritual experiences are limited when you try to limit who's in your life and what kind of people. If everybody you seek to affiliate yourself with is just like you, then it's gonna put a damper on your spiritual growth and development. And possibly, to be honest, most of the time, um, it's going to put a damper on your financial growth, your business growth, even possibly your romantic evolution. Because y'all know romance evolves, relationships evolve. But anywho, they're neither here nor there. It's important that you stay open. And nothing keeps you more open than having other people in your life who are dedicated to their spiritual development just like you are, but who have maybe possibly been in it longer, who are more stable, in it than you. People who are bold and loving enough to call you up out of dark places when you sink into them. Because here's the reality, okay? This is moments of mindfulness, right? Let's be mindful of the fact that we live in a world where it's very difficult to dodge every bullet, okay? Because they be flying from all kind of directions, and media is everywhere. The last time I was in New York City, it struck me that I had been standing in one spot for a second, but I realized I was looking at TV outside. I mean, we're outside. We're walking down. Oh, I can't remember the name of this street now. But we get there, and then next thing there's big screens outdoors that's playing ads and talking about plays, and it's just it's TV outside. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, you really can't escape it. Times Square. Okay, Times Square. So, y'all, if you've been to New York and you've been on Times Square, then you know that all up and down through there are a lot of different digital displays that some of them have the news, some of them have this, some of them have that. And then of course there's social media, and no matter how little or how much social media you have, there's still um that window into your life. And listen, I'm not one of those proponents that say ditch all social media, ditch this, ditch your TV, and I say minimize it to the amount that you have to feel good and empowered in your life. Some people don't even have to minimize because they don't take it seriously, or they use it very specifically and intentionally. But for others, you must minimize. I have a news app that is on my phone. So I get news headlines all day, every day, all day, every day. Um, and and I had to unsubscribe for a little bit because it was getting to be too much. Now I have a different one. Yeah, you know what I mean? What was the point of unsubscribing to the other one, right? I might have a different one, but I muted a lot because I don't always want to know. I don't always have time to put energy or thought into whatever this is. But I know that because of who I am as a mentor and a thought leader and all of those things, and an author and a publisher and on and on and on, I know that I gotta know what's going on in the world. I can't afford to stick my head in the sand, but that don't mean I gotta be overwhelmed by it, right? Let me encourage you guys, put some parameters up, because this is your life, and it is okay to put some boundaries together. And you know what? Nobody else gets to judge what you can and cannot do. Some people can just willy-nilly it all their life and they fine. That may not be the case for you, and that don't make you a weaker person. It doesn't make you anything other than yourself. And it is up to you to protect yourself, protect your mental wellness, protect your emotional wellness, and protect your financial and physical wellness. We we are all navigating this thing together, and we're all going to have various opinions about it. And so the last thing I really want to say on this subject, because it is the main thing that got me started with this subject and brought me to the podcast today. It is so important not to lose love over things that at the end of the day don't matter. Husband is a Republican, wife is a Democrat, or vice versa. She's pro that, he's anti that. Okay. But y'all were not having those conversations when you fell in love. Y'all were not having your children grew up, you raised them all your life to be Democrat. Now all of a sudden they're Republican. Okay, all right, I get it. but this is still your child, it's still your spouse, this is still your sister, brother, whatever. You know, it's okay to disagree. That don't mean you have to demolish the character of people who believe differently from you. And so a lot of this toxicity, political toxicity, is being shoved in all of our faces. That don't mean we have to participate in it. We don't have to bring that home. We don't have to let that behind our doors. We don't have to do that to our children or our family or our lover. It's okay for a Republican to love the hell out of a Democrat. Okay? It is absolutely all right for people of opposing political beliefs to hear each other's belief and be enriched and expanded by it rather than angered. Oh my goodness, guys. Like sometimes this whole idea, and you know what? If you're not the type of person to have an open mind, you pretty much do have to surround yourself with people who think like you, because you're not going to have an open mind. But I don't believe there's anyone who's listening to the Moments of Mindfulness podcast. And so here's the other side of it, my loves, is that having a person who has a whole different perspective than you can be refreshing. Of course, it's challenging, but having somebody who think like you is challenging and is in a different way, right? But having a person with a different viewpoint or vantage point bring their perspective to the table so that you can see both, yours and you see theirs. It gives you a dynamic. It's like shooting something with a dynamic lens, right? It's a dynamic view. It's an aerial view. You get to see a thing from multiple vantage points, and many people never get that. And I know it's hard to believe because, again, we just talked about media is everywhere. Don't hate so easily for candidates who you will never really know or meet, who really don't care about you like that. And I'm not even saying that to be inflammatory, but we got to tell the truth. It's Moments of Mindfulness, but I'm still in rain and I can't help myself. I got to bring it real and raw. They don't give a damn about you like that. They don't know you to care, right? You're not either one of nobody's sister, brother, cousin, and have nobody's phone number to call them when you get ready and text them. And so to lose the people who answer your text when you need them over people who will never know your name and could give a damn or care less whether you're okay or not is crazy. It's insanity. Okay, y'all are different. And if that difference is unbearable, you got to make a decision. But please don't ever think that you're doing that for some candidate or some political party or some ideology that you're not even walking in. And neither are they. We got to get back to letting love be the binding force in our families and even in our businesses. I love my customers because they're my customers. They choose me every time they hop on the Magical Mystic website and buy products, or Divinity Academy website and purchase classes. Every time they keep choosing me. And I love them for that. And so I am mindful when I give my offering to them, whatever it is that I'm offering up, that I'm giving them the best that I possibly can. Is there room for improvement with everyone? But I really give it my all. Because they could be anywhere else. They keep choosing me. I'm going to keep choosing them. It's a reciprocal relationship based upon love and respect. And love and respect can make you wealthy, make you healthy, make you a whole heap a lot happier. I just had to say heap. Yeah, the more ancestral work I do, tonight we have the ancestral, at the recording of this podcast, the ancestral wall of defense ritual. So sometimes those ancestral words just pop right out my mouth. Okay. But yes, walking with love and respect can save you a lot of anxiety and frustration. Now, I want each of you to take a moment and just breathe in. I am okay. Okay. I am okay. Then, actually, I'm good. I'm really good. I am happy. I'm here. I'm present. And you know what happens when you become present? You become powerful because presently you are powerful. That's the only time. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I apologize, but I am going to be more consistent and this will not be the last podcast. We're going to be right back to every week uploading. And I am really, really delighted, at least for a while. And then we may go to every 2 weeks. But for now, we're going to go back to every week. I'm going to be here with you guys through this thing. And we're gonna have mindfulness, hit every aspect of our life. That is the vision of this podcast. And I'm so excited that you guys share that vision with me. I'm looking forward to growing this thing out. I'm looking forward to having some of you guys come on and share your story. For those of you who don't know, definitely subscribe. But also, if you are interested in being a podcast guest, what I suggest is that you write in to Moments of Mindfulness podcast at gmail.com. One of the reasons why is because I want to share this platform with people who actually listen to it, who understand the vision, who have a story to tell. Like sometimes people get these platforms, they go straight out and they try to find everybody who everybody else is already talking to. So people tell the same story across 15,000 platforms and people just keep listening. But all of the greatest people I've ever known, the world did not know. Some of the most inspirational people in the world work regular jobs and they have um no fan base, no fanfare. Nobody even knows how great they are. And so I want to have real stories of real people who have figured out real situations and became tremendous through the work that they've done in their own lives. Okay. So definitely write us. Let us know you want to be on the podcast. You can follow me on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram is at Magical Mystic. My name, of course, is M Rain across all platforms, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. I'll see you next time.